Dude, I heard jail for teenagers was like summer camp or something.
Dude, I doubt it. It's a punishment, not a privilege, okay?
I ain't saying that. I'm just saying I want to, you know what I'm saying, lift weights, build up my street credit. You know what I'm saying, get 3 squares a day, you know?
Man, I think you've seen way too many movies. You should get locked down with this story about juveniles in the justice system and see what it's really about.
All right, let's see what our reporters had to say.
The juvenile justice system is the system through which juvenile delinquents are processed and corrected. Why do we need a system like this? GUMBO TV sent our reporter Morgan to investigate why teens are getting into trouble and what happens to them when they get caught.
And what are some common crimes that you've seen come into your offices?
The percentages are now greater toward crimes against persons than they were against property now.
I've been seeing a lot of juveniles commit auto theft crimes.
We see a lot of property crimes, burglary, theft.
Well, unfortunately, we find that juveniles commit all kinds of different crimes. We have had juveniles in custody for, you know, anything from a city ordinance violation, maybe shoplifting, all the way up to homicide.
Is there any one person to blame for these crimes? If it takes a village to raise a child, is the village to blame for a child's societal trespass?
Between the TV set, and the different medias and the peers, it always plays a big part in it.
A lot of the cases that I do handle are charged as party to a crime. I'm not saying that they're saying, oh, we're going to go out and commit a crime today, but they are with their friends and they're with a group of people, and then they end up doing whatever they do.
The person who encourages someone to steal a purse could be charged as a party to the crime of the theft of the purse.
You know, one kid starts beating up another kid and the other kid joins in it and he says no, well, I mean, he's going to be picked on. Mom and dad aren't there saying, come on in, you know, let's jump this person. So I think peer pressure is huge. That's probably the #1 cause of what's going on in today's youth.
Research shows that minorities make up 60% of prison population. White non-Hispanics make up 43.6%, blacks at 39.2%, Hispanics at 15.4%, and other races at 1.8%. What do these figures tell us?
You'll look at, you know, the newspaper and things like that, and you'll probably say, yeah, whatever, that's maybe to be expected because of the area that it happened in. But we all know that it's happening in other areas.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with media coverage. You know, media, they often cover the more violent crimes.
The fact of the matter is there are more black males incarcerated in Wisconsin than there are other races, percentage-wise at least.
Penitentiaries are packed with more blacks and then there's the lack of job training. And then there's the lack of transportation, and you know, and then you get into all the welfare stuff, and that's freaking insane.
Our young people, our young African American people that hold so much potential. Some of them are being shot and killed, and then of course there's always more than one victim to a crime. There's the victim of the homicide, and then there's the perpetrator who ends up going to jail and ruining his chances, or his or her chances for future success.
Most people believe that putting delinquent teens in jail and secure detention should improve their attitudes, right? What does detention do to an impressionable teen?
Placing a child in detention should be the last resort because there are many other approaches to take.
But the judge or the court commission has a lot of different options. And lawyers are actually asked with some of them, you know, they're deferred prosecution, so they basically tell you if you can keep things straight for a year or so, then all, if you will, is forgiven. And then it's real important that you keep things straight.
Well, secure detention isn't even half of what the penitentiary is. And then you've got kids that go to the county jail, and then they come out and they just think that, you know, they've done this huge prison bit, and they haven't even hit prison yet. The penitentiary is a whole different world than the juvenile system.
Some children grow up by what I call the school of hard knocks, where they don't have, you know, parents that love them, and they end up resorting to gangs for families, and sometimes going to jail is a badge of honor for those people. In that case, it's certainly not a good experience because it doesn't turn them around. But there are other children who are out there that make mistakes and they end up in the juvenile justice system, and it's a good experience because it scares them enough so that they determine in their own mind that they don't want to do that again.
Experts agree that jail should not be an option for teens. With that said, how can we as a community keep our youth from endangering their future?
I really don't think a lot of juveniles are educated on what can potentially happen to them. I think that's a big step right there. I think they need to know about what it means to get themselves into trouble.
Spend time with your kids. Know who they are. Know who their friends are. You know, we're so busy in this society making money and doing other things.
A lot of kids, they're hidden and they kind of reach out, and you know, if the community is not there to help them, they're gonna, you know, go the other path.
As a community, we need to reach out to teens and not only show them we care, but act upon it. If we give teens the emotional support and attention they need, this will keep them from the horrors of prison later. This can effectively lower the incarceration rate and provide a better future for generations to come.
Oh man, that's OC.
What did I say? You learned something, didn't you?
Man, if I learned anything, not to get caught. But
See, you learned nothing. Being in jail will stick with you forever. Like I said, it's a punishment, not a privilege.
I know, I was just playing. Check yourself and don't become another statistic.
He's right. Stay tuned. Up next, we're down in Atlanta.